Welcome back to our next episode in the series where I talk about different types of theater stages. And if this is your first time seeing me, hello, my name is Aisha. I am an actor with over 35 years of experience. Okay, I am so excited because today we are talking about traverse stages. Traverse stages are stages where the audience is actually set up on two sides of the stage. So think of it like a plank or more like a catwalk. Now, as you can see, this is an example of a traverse stage in London that they set up for a production of Hamlet. So you see the audience would be on this side and there, creating a walkway for the actors. This can lead to some really dramatic, powerful moments because the audience is so close. And also, you feel like you're in the moment with them. There's lots of movement, they're going back and forth. This type of staging also has a lot of its roots in ritualistic, tribalistic ceremonies where you would have the practitioners in the middle and the people in the middle of the ritual going up and down. So it represents transformation, growth, transfiguring yourself into something different. So a lot of movement and a lot of powerful emotions. What also gets me excited about starting to talk about traverse spaces and the next two types of stages that we're going to discuss is now we are starting to see influences from other cultures, not just what we consider Western culture. And I know Western is kind of persnickety because it's like Western from whose point of view, but I'm an English speaker, so it is what it is. The cultures that what we consider Western, or really think of it as European, Mediterranean, in that part of the world. And the birthplaces of those types of theaters really starts with the proscenium and the proscenium art that we talked about in other videos. But theater is done by humans. This is something that humans do. So there are so many theatrical traditions, and the traverse stages really show how other cultures do theater. We know in theater history that theater began in rituals. So what's so cool, I had so much fun researching this. So traverse stages, we have evidence of traverse stages even older than proscenium stages. So the traverse stage, they have proof of it starting in African indigenous tribes called the San people, S-A-N. And they would use it as just rituals. Like I mentioned before, the practitioners are in the middle and the rest of the tribe is gathered watching, sometimes for just all sorts of ceremonies and growth ceremonies. And you see that in different sort of places, like think of churches and temples and things along that line. So you do see traverse stages outside of what we like European type of art. So we're thinking different types of African cultures. We're thinking Asian cultures. In fact, here is another photo of kabuki staging. So you'll see the audience is here, and the actors go up and down. This is considered more of a walkway. So they don't do necessarily main parts of the play here, but they can use this for dramatic walks up and down to show the character either doing a journey, like literally, or going through a journey spiritually, metaphysically. I meant metaphorically, because I get so excited about theater and then I just go on and on. Now, I have not been able to see it live, but thinking of how traverse theaters work, it is a catwalk, and the first thing I thought of is how cool would it be for something like Cats, the Jellicle Ball, the new revival of the musical Cats, that thinking of that production like actually on a traverse stage catwalk. I did do a little research since I don't have the coin to go to New York to go see it, to research that in some of the early staging, they were thinking in that terms, and they decided to actually add some audience members towards the front to maximize the space where the production was actually held. And then they had to rethink it to change it to what would it be like on a proscenium stage, because as the show is produced in other theaters, then you have to kind of look at how is that going to change this production, what do we need to do and adjust. But here is a shot I found from the production. It's so glorious. So imagine that if these seats weren't here, because in the dark there are seats in this theater, but you can see total catwalk, and that represents the ball culture where the Cats of Jellicle Ball is based. So you see the audience, and they actually have seats on the stage too, which so much fun. If you've not seen shows where the audience is actually on the stage, so immersive. But yeah, it brings in the glamour, the fame, the hugeness of the ball culture into the space, and it would just work so well. So that gives you an idea of the types of things you can do with traverse staging. Benefits, just really big emotions when you have a play, especially if it's minimalistic, because you don't have a lot of room for necessarily crazy sets or flyaways, unless you have a lot of technical know-how. But shows that really are about huge transformation of the characters and wanting the audience to be right in the middle of it. Challenges, sightlines, because no matter which way you are, you have your back to someone, so you have to always keep it moving, keep a lot of things going up and down that catwalk, so there's always something to look at, and like no one in the audience is going to be able to see everything all at once, but you want to get as much movement as possible. So those are traverse stages. I have worked on one show that used a traverse stage, and it was a very physically demanding show. Just because, like I said, the nature of it, it's a catwalk. You have to keep moving back and forth, and it was a very different experience. So if you can, definitely take a look, check it out. If you are producing a show and if you get a script, consider, would this work for traverse staging? Okay, so I hope this helped. I hope this gets you interested if you are new to theater, and I hope this helps your studies, and I hope this helps you rethink of what you already know about theater, because theater is done by humans, and there's so much to it, and it is ever-changing and dynamic. So I hope you enjoyed this, and we will see you next time. Bye.